quick Arkanoid update. Everything is, the wiring I think I did on the speakers in the last video. The speakers are wired up. The marquee is back on. There are new bulbs behind it. It turns on. Still have an open hole here in the bezel. Plexiglass is on and clean. The coin door is not in. Got scratched a little bit drilling out the hole for a larger button for the coinage. So I reluctantly painted it. Not sure what I think of glossy finish. There's the larger hole. It was just a small hole before, but now as you can see I can get my finger through. But I've still got to catch an edge on it, which I may do yet tonight. We'll see. But the main thing that I've done, the thing as far as deconstruction, the overlay is off. And that was just by getting a putty knife under it and working up slowly but surely. And there's the control panel. And I did a bit of sanding on it, but it's still sticky, like really sticky. Like, I don't know if they use like contact cement or what. The plastic doesn't feel very sticky at all. But there's a lot here. I may have to get some acetone or something to clean it off. But where I did sand down the metal, it isn't to metal and it's not sticky there, but it's slow going on the rest of it. That's with 60 grit sandpaper. So, and there's still the 4 holes across the top edge there that need to be bondoed in, so that is yet to go. So that will be coming in the coming days. Okay, it's July 31st, 2015, Arkanoid update time. I'm not sure if the last one I don't think I had the coin door back on. In any case, the coin door is on. There's a new coin up button on the front of it, which is different. The other one you could feed through from the back. This one, it's got a lip in the front where you got to push it through from the front. So therefore I had to, out here in the garage, solder on the wires to the back of the button. No big deal. Also, since last time, we have blue T-molding on all around. Originally I thought purple, then I was thinking black. Turned out to be blue. I thought blue would go well with the colors in the marquee as well as the colors in the control panel overlay, which is the old one is right there. So that's kind of a bluish. So that's why I decided to go with. And yes, there's a new game in the garage, which the video is already posted for, part of a weekend pickup. Plexiglass is back on, although there's one more piece that goes inside the cabinet on the back that holds it in from the top side that I still need to get mounted. The biggest news, however, is over here. It's the control panel. In addition to having it removed, this is all fairly smooth. It's not sticky anymore. There's no black, well, there's very little black paint. I'm going to give it a sanding before and a coat of paint before putting it all back together. But first off is we have to deal with these excess holes. Since this was something else, and originally when I got it, it had plexiglass over the top, the holes didn't matter because any pressure you put on this plexiglass would take up. You just would never feel the holes. But I don't intend to put plexiglass on it, at least not initially. So my plan is to bondo in those two and those two. And I got to double check. I think these square ones. If it's not the square ones, it's the round ones. I'll have to fill them in. Those shouldn't be that big of an issue. Yes, there's, maybe you'll see some rust spots on here. I did rinse it off because I used Goof Off to get the sticky stuff off, and there was a lot of sticky stuff. I tried sanding and it tore apart sandpaper. The adhesive was just so strong. But I even tried a little bit of acetone. That didn't seem to do much of anything, but the Goof Off did. But only after putting it on, letting it soak in for a few minutes, as the instructions say, and then boom, slipped on a piece of plastic, and then scraping it off with a putty knife. So that's what I did. Since that's off, you can kind of see inside the Galaga, which I thought I had on with that wire up there on the top, but I do have a new power supply that needs to go in there, but we'll do videos on that later. First things first, I got to get the Arkanoid into the basement, and there's very little left to do on it, so might as well get it finished up. Arkanoid is the Galaga is gonna be its own series. Good grief, get back in there. Lean against there for now, for all I care. So anyway, the plan for the control panel is I want the Bondo in these holes, but in order to give it a backer, I'm going to take some take a metal strip, which I happen to have right here. I haven't decided if I'm doing it all as one or if I'm going to cut it out individually. Like 4 pieces, like one to cover that hole, another one to cover that. Maybe I'll do it 2 pieces. One here, and another one over there. That might be the way to go. But I'm going to use some JB weld to put that on. Once this is on, I have a backer for there. I can put the Bondo in, cover it over, and sand it off, and hopefully it'll all be nice and smooth. Should be. I don't know why it wouldn't. As far as these other little holes, like I say, I'm not worried too much about them because they're not that big. But that's the plan. So, next step is to do some measuring and then do some cutting. And then do some gluing. Then do some bondoing. But it's coming along. It's I really want to get it down in the basement. Okay, welcome back to the garage. And here we have our control panel. On the back side, I've got the 2 strips of metal that have been JB welded in place, and those guys feel like they're pretty solid in there. And they've created solid holes. You can see the epoxy on here. That shouldn't matter. Because now we've got our friend Bondo, which I've never used before. So we're going to go over Bondo these holes tonight, and I'm not going to have time to do anything more with it after I do Bondo it. So tomorrow we'll sand it and paint it and or re-Bondo it if I sand too much. But that's the plan for tomorrow, or tonight. So hopefully when all is said and done, we'll be left with 3 round holes and 3 large round holes and 4 small round holes. So anyway, mix up some Bondo and get going. Okay, here we have it. Bondo. The Stuff sets up really fast. I mean, it already feels hard. I mean, this end here was the last one I did, and it's hard. So, like I say, I'm not going to have time to deal with this anymore tonight, but tomorrow we'll sand it down. Oh, I didn't fill in the square holes. I really need to. We'll see. I already put the Bondo, sealed up the can. Could get it out and mix up a small batch. Do those holes. It might be the wise thing to do. Better make sure they're the right holes though. So, okay, that's Bondo. Mix up the base stuff with the hardener. Stir it up till it's a salmon color. Spread it in right away, and you're done. And so, once again, as the sun sinks slowly over the horizon, we evaluate where we're at. And you can see things are a little bit different. In addition to the metal strips with the JB weld, last night I applied Bondo. I'm not sure I recorded, but tonight I sanded it down and it's smooth, cleaned it off, should be dry by now. I've also found 4 more bolts that are in the Coke box of paint, and those go with the spinner knob. So they had like a brownish colored whatever on top of them, so I sanded them down, cleaned up the shaft of the bolt. I'm going to put some paint on those, and then I'm going to call it a night. So once we get the paint on that, then we can apply the overlay and start reassembling the control panel. This is actually really smooth. It's strong, just like I was hoping. It was a couple notches, but you're never going to feel those. And the main idea was if anybody were to put weight on that, they're not going to poke through the overlay when they're doing it. These, I just kind of puttied some Bondo in there, had the thing sitting flat on a Kleenex. A little bit's poking through the backside. Not worried about that. Nobody's ever going to see it. So, anyway, time for paint before the sun goes down. Okay, it's the moment of truth. Leading up to the moment of truth. As you can see, the control panel painted up very nicely. Nice and smooth. It put a couple coats on it, gave it a light sanding last night, washed it down with water and let it dry overnight. Now it's nice and smooth. And here is our new control panel overlay. A little bit darker than what I thought, but still should look nice once it's unplaced in the cabinet. A little bit darker blue than T-molding, but that's okay. I do like the Star. Nice red contrast with things. Next step, I'm going to attempt to line this up and tape it down. And I'm starting to have doubts if it's wide enough. No, it's wide enough. Just look that way because it's curling up. So anyway, I'm going to tape it down so that everything lines up the way I'd like it to, and take a look at it again. Okay, here we have the control panel. Just have some blue painter's tape holding it on. I've tried to square it up with bottom edge, the corners, the top edge. And I think now we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. Going to undo the tape down at the bottom and I'm going to peel it back and peel away the backing underneath, cut it down with scissors, and lay it back down, hopefully straight, while the top gets held in place. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will come back. Okay, first part done. I've removed this clear backing, so we just have the sticky stuff. And now comes the tricky part, trying to lay it down and line it up on the control panel. Okay, mission partially accomplished. We have the front edge down and looking good. So now we take off the tape on the sides of the top and peel back the plastic for it, and remove the backing and lay it down. I had a little bit of issues with air bubbles somewhere near one of the player 1 buttonholes. So anyway, I'll get this off. Okay, got the tape off. Now we're going to bend this back. We're going to turn it upside down, bend this back, peel away the plastic over the adhesive, and then lay the whole thing down, working up air bubbles as we go, and hopefully all will go well. I think we got the bottom lined up as good as we could get it, and I was a little worried initially that the wasn't quite wide enough or wasn't quite tall enough, but once it got stretched, it was looking pretty good. Stuff wanted to curl up, so I'll be back after I give it a shot. And here you have it. Control panel with new overlay on it. You can see a little bit of the white edge along various places of the edges, because it wasn't quite a perfect fit, but I think that's not going to be a problem at all. A little bit of dirt or adhesive, I'm not sure, but it cleans right off, so I am very happy. It is nice and smooth, it's solid. Now comes the scary part, putting holes in it, because this thing needs buttons. So I've elected to go with new buttons, which I have. Came from Bob Roberts, so I think I'm going to run down to the basement and get those and get them mounted. Who knows? Maybe I'll even get the spinner on tonight. Okay, no spinner yet, but here's the control panel with buttons on it. And there's like very little daylight left. It might look like more from here, but it's getting dark. So I got the porch lights on. So this is pretty good progress for a day. And if the truth were be told, these buttons are just stuck in here. They're not actually hooked up yet. No wiring harness on it. But I still haven't poked a hole through for the spinner yet. But all that stuff will come. Or I don't have the mounting holes poked through. I don't have even the mounting holes for the spinner. So there's still a fair amount more to do. And the cabinet's waiting. But it's getting dark, so maybe, just maybe, the cabinet will be in the basement for the weekend. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday, August 5th. Even in the home stretch, there are things to deal with. I take this bolt, for instance. That bolt. You may or may not be able to tell on the top of the bolt, there's like a square head on it, or a square part of it right before the head. What we have here on the control panel are round holes. And that square bit will not fit through those. I checked the plexiglass, which is over in the pile somewhere over there, and it's been kind of chopped out. Here it is. You may not be able to see that square for those holes. And it sat down in those, and this was on top, and that was okay for the time being. But for today, we have to deal with this. Thought about grinding it off, and instead, what I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to drill the holes a little bit bigger. Just big enough for the square bit to fit in. We'll still have 4 points of contact from the bolt itself, and the washer itself is a lock washer, so it'll help hold it secure. There's 4 of them, and if need be I could always tighten it up. It's not like it's going to be in a real arcade or anything. It's just going to be my basement for personal use. So I don't think it's going to loosen up that much. Anyway, let's drill it out and hopefully we can get a spinner on soon. Probably can't see it, but the sun really is on its way of going down. Got the outside lights on, and inside here we have see if I can back up enough to get the whole thing, the final version of the Arkanoid. Still in the garage. I can't back up enough to get the whole thing in. There we go. Right next to the Galaga, which I haven't started work on yet. But the control panel turned out very nice. Had a few things I did that I had to redo. Got the lock on the coin door. But overall, this whole thing is a world better than it was when I first got it. We're supposed to have rain here tomorrow, so probably won't go down the basement then. Might be next weekend. I should do some cleanup and clearing out a space for it, so we can just move it in and park it. But and there are some minor adjustments I need to make. Spinner is on. Gears don't quite line up as nicely as I would like them to, but the coin up button works. Player 1 works. Well, player 2 also works. But let's see, I haven't actually played a game on it yet. I was watching what I was doing instead of watching how the camera was oriented. But it works. Once I get the spinner thing worked out. But what do you know? It is a nice game. Okay. I also don't have things done like the little scorecard that tells what goes on. I don't have the things that indicate this is fire. These are fire. That's player 1 or player 2. I do have the artwork for it. So anyway, this is it for now. The next stop is the basement. It is a hot, muggy Sunday night. What did I say? This is August the 8th, 2015. And here we have it. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Man, it turned out great. It doesn't smell a bit like smoke. One thing I did learn was that this used to be a Kix cabinet, QIX. And I should have looked that up myself. But someone in Clav pointed that out. So someday maybe I'll convert it back. Not not for a while. I like it the way it is. It's a fun game, and I can't wait to have it in the basement. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like my channel, press the subscribe button. If you don't like my channel, you're welcome to subscribe anyway. But anyway, you know what's coming next. That guy. My wife does want to park in here before it gets cold out, before it gets rainy. So anyway, that's it. See you later. Bye. And here we are in the basement. The Arkanoid is in the basement. Fits in nicely. Although, not quite so much with the mess. But the basement funhouse is shaping up. This project I started a year or so ago. Did not get worked on this year. I'll get back to it, I promise. I'm just not quite sure what I'm doing, but the Arkanoid is working. In fact, to make everything. Ow! There we go. Turn off the lights. And this isn't... I need to do stuff with things on the wall. You can't see them anymore when you get big games like this in here. It may move over, it may stay there, I don't know. But it's in the basement and it looks cool. And it's fun. So, this closes a chapter on this guy. Arkanoid. It was fun. It was a lot of work. I think it was worthwhile. So, anyway, if you like the channel, if you like the project, click on the subscribe button. Then you'll get updates, and you'll see when I do my next one. And we do have a next one. It's in the garage right now. You've seen it before. It's called the Galaga. And it's going to be started really soon. So, anyway, I say that a lot, you know. And we'll also do a tour of the basement. There's a lot of little projects to do with stuff that's already down here. The firepower needs a little work. I've got some LEDs and just GI lights to replace. Spirit of 76. It still doesn't work. I never completely finished off the main cabinet. I've got the marquee. I just need to cut some plexi down to size and get it put up there. So, and I've got cleaning to do. But we're getting there. So anyway, subscribe please and stay tuned. See you later. Bye for now.